Back everyone to another episode. Join my co-host Matty Bissett.
Good afternoon.
I'm Miles OK, and let's get into it. My man, what are we heading into? Winding down the term now, last couple of weeks. How are we feeling? What's going on? We're excited, Matthew. We're devastated about the school year's coming to an end.
It feels like it is week 10, term 5, Miles. I am exhausted. Absolutely exhausted.
Is that, Matthew, normally this time of the year feels like that, or this year's especially different?
I think this year's probably a bit more than the last couple of years.
You started your job this year, last year? Your new job?
I started, this is my third year in the job, second year at this point. But the best thing about holidays is, I don't know if you've noticed, but when we go on holidays, every other child and young person in the state also goes on holidays.
Which is fun, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to go places on holidays.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
We're like, it's holidays. You know what? I'm going to go, let's jump on a plane.
And go somewhere nice.
Yeah,
so I deserve it.
Yeah,
can't do it, mate.
No, too expensive.
I was thinking of a question on the way over here, actually. How, if you, how long have you been teaching? 20 something years now?
Probably 20 something years with kids, as an EA or
yes, let's do that.
program.
So let's go, I don't go to the start of the year. Let's go, so 10 years in, Matthew, compared to now, you cross, what's been the main differences from then to now? Give me 3 key differences between Matthew 10 years into his career to Matthew now.
I would say that my understanding of my words probably comes more into play.
As in when you're teaching or when you're dealing just general?
Just in general, because I was just thinking of a story that made me go, I really need to work on what I say. So I was in a pre-primary class.
Be more elegant with it, or just?
Oh no, just bear with me.
Sorry, apologies.
Just bear with me here.
Yes.
I was in a pre-primary class with a sort of about to be assessed for various things, ASD, ADHD, and
right.
And I gave an instruction. I was like, "All right, class, just good job. Jump on over to your tables, and we'll get started." And I looked over, a couple of kids jumped over, I'm like, cool. And then this one boy literally started jumping on his table out of nowhere.
Took your instructions exactly as you said.
And then I'm like, I couldn't even, I'm like, I can't even get angry at you because you did exactly like I asked.
Was trying to be cheeky, the student, or just he was following orders?
So it turns out he was on the spectrum, and he took things very literally.
Sure.
And understanding that made my instructions for the whole class become a lot more concise and direct.
Sure.
So cut out a lot of fluff.
Yep.
Unfortunately, a lot of pleases and thank yous, because we do say please and thank you a lot, and especially with some of these kids who take things literally, or their brains move a little bit faster. They don't hear the middle part. They just hear
the please and thank you.
Please or thank you, and they're like, what am I doing? I don't understand what you want me to do. You speak too fast.
2 more or 1 more. Main differences, Matthew 10 years into his career to Matthew now.
I would say the respect that teachers get from students and parents has dwindled on average.
Yeah, okay.
But if you have a good relationship with the parents and the students, that respect is actually through the roof. It's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So it just depends on...
That's a good point.
On the person, I guess, and what they value. So like, if you're going to value being on time, getting all your work done, not calling out, all that stuff, the kids aren't going to respect you because you're not showing them any respect. But
so
if you just make them
maneuver,
you just meet them where they're at. You just, then all of a sudden they respect you, you respect them. You're on even ground. Yes, you're the teacher and things like that, but you have a good relationship with them. And I think that over the last 10 years or so, that's the part that I've probably seen change the most, is respect for teachers from students and parents.
Is dwindling overall.
Dwindling.
But you can make the breakthrough by putting the work in.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just takes time and takes effort, and sometimes it's not easy.
My 2. Thank you, Matthew. I think I've definitely trying to just stay within my hours and not go crazy taking extra work on. And then secondly, I'm still pretty militant in class, but not trying to be so black and white. Like, it has to go exactly this way, having some room to, I guess, work and be ambiguous in the moment. So just learn to accept that better, I think.
Yeah.
It's definitely started.
Everything, you know, like you find your groove, as they say, and you might let that go like just a little bit, and then you do a gentle reminder so it doesn't happen again, instead of rousing on them like you may have done beforehand. You know, there's things like that. Just little...
I still find it crazy, man, that I'm 17 years in and like I'm a veteran teacher now. Like I find that bit crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why people listen to me either, mate. To be fair.
Your wisdom, Matthew. Your breakthrough wisdom. All right, so this episode, I want to look at why behaviour is getting worse and what teachers are getting wrong. I'm trying to think of a story off my head. Have you got a story by any chance, Matthew, on this?
So there is, I've worked with a student before.
Yep.
And very, very, very dysfunctional home life.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a recent story. It's a few years back.
No, a couple of years. So very dysfunctional home life, and their needs weren't met at all. They weren't fed. They didn't sleep. They didn't have clean clothes. They didn't have anything like that.
Yep.
The fact that this student actually came to school was a huge win, you know, because they had smelly clothes. They didn't want to be there. They had anxiety about being there. It was just a lot for them.
Yep.
But they were going to school, and the teachers would rouse on them for not having the proper pens. They might have
It breaks your heart, doesn't it?
or no ruler. I'm like, you know, I get it, the fact that there needs to be accountability, and, you know,
Sure.
you can't just hand out things all the time.
There's bigger wins here at play.
Yeah, so the fact that this young person came to school, was willing to have a go at anything, and then the teacher roused on them for not having a bag, so no pencils, no anything. Mentioned that they smelt, in front of the class.
Yeah.
And
so students there at the time, students can hear this and they openly, that's not good.
Yeah, so, and that student never came back to that class. And all of that, if the teacher would just realise that maybe if a student comes to school with no bag, they say they're hungry, they look like they haven't slept and they're in smelly clothes, maybe don't bring those things up in front of their peers.
Well, they're already walking on a razor wire, thin of getting there. And it could be the other way around. It could have been just by showing them a bit of, whatever.
Compassion.
It's exactly the word. Have a breakthrough and they start, actually coming to school more and making something.
You know, like if you know that child's going to be smelly and they don't have pens, don't call them out. Just have a little pencil case.
Well, especially not in front of the class either.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, so
especially teenagers.
Brutal. Let me pose this question to you, Matthew. Is behaviour for students actually getting worse in classrooms, or has the world changed an awful amount in the last 5 to 10 years?
Both, Marlon.
Let's focus on the last 5 years.
Definitely both. The behaviour has, I guess, become a lot more increased, like negative behaviours have increased.
Yeah, I want to cut in there. I think some of that normally comes up, and I was guilty of it to start with, even till about probably a year and a half ago. It's just saying that students are less resilient these days, and actually use your wisdom that helped. Whatever, I actually helped me with it and said, well, I mean, kids are, they're facing more in terms of, criticism and stuff through their phones these days. Back in our day, and still to this day, any resilience you get from overcoming challenges, these students hit challenges now. They just jump on ChatGPT, sorry. I'll even go further. I've got a close friend who's a tradie, runs a trade. He's got a couple of recent school kid graduates working for him.
Yep.
But to the point, like simple tasks that used to be expected to be known leaving school, they're just straight into the chatbots. How do I do this? What do I do this?
Yep.
And you're going, this is because everything's able to be solved from so quickly. Yeah, I think that
there's no problem solving.
It's not necessarily the part of it. And then the other side we talked about a fair bit is then talking about just constantly getting bombarded by all the second part. Definitely took my views. I was like, well, the world has changed a fair bit.
It has changed a lot. Like technology and the internet is so prevalent.
Yeah.
And the constant bombardment of information, even if it's negative information, it doesn't matter. I can spend about 20 minutes on my phone and then I'm done. There's too much.
Yeah.
These kids spend 4 or 5 hours because their brains are just waiting for that next hit, viral video, that next dopamine dump. And they're not going to get that in a classroom. They're going to get that dopamine dump by being silly, by being loud, by making their friends laugh, by getting in an argument with the teacher over something silly.
I came across something somewhere a couple of weeks ago about saying how one of the hardest things you can do as an adult is sit with boredom, which I think definitely, especially this day, is harder. And I look at students when I'm doing a test. My teacher's desk at the back of the room, so the students are all facing the other way. But when the students finish the test, even do a word set or something, like it's too much for them, and you can see them just want to reach for their phone.
Yep.
You know, and they don't in the schoolroom, whatever. But it's just being able to deal with that situation and deal with not the constant stimulation. It's getting harder and harder.
Well, it's funny you should mention that,
Yeah.
Miles, because we are some of the students I work with now.
Yep.
Their main goal is not to increase their reading level, is not to increase their math level. It's actually to increase their boredom tolerance.
Oh, wow.
So it's actually across the board that kids cannot be bored these days.
Yeah.
Because when they're little, they're constantly bombarded with YouTube videos, flashing games,
Absolutely.
toys that, like where's the wooden toys? There's no wooden toys anymore.
Absolutely.
And that just keeps on going. They just constantly need that something. I can't just sit here and do nothing. So our goal is literally on their SEN plans, we'll have something along the lines of to increase boredom tolerance.
Then how are you doing as a teacher?
It's hard because...
Well, I imagine it's just some kind of, is it withdrawal symptoms or something there as well?
And it's that whole, what's the term? FOMO.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, because they're on their phones all the time, they're wondering what their friend's doing or their cousin's doing or the person...
Counting their likes, how many,
they posted a video. So it's so different. And that is increasing the off-task behaviour in class, which then increases low-level negative behaviours. Then those negative behaviours, those low-level ones, just keep on building and building and building and building and building till the teacher at the front has zero control of the class because it's just too hard. Like, so in some regards, the behaviour is getting way, way worse. To change thinking, to shape learning.
Which is, it used to be teaching, you could just be in front of whatever the trend was, or you caught up pretty quickly. But now with everything else happening at such a rapid pace.
I remember bottle flipping. That was a trend we caught on, Miles.
You know? Yeah, but then you think with everything else down the track with artificial intelligence and stuff, it's.
And also, like with your mate who owns the business, the tradie.
Yeah.
The fact that ChatGPT or whatever other AI chatbot you're using can give you instant
real-time information to solutions.
Yeah. And because more and more people are using AI, it's starting to change its language model to speak more and more like humans and give you that the information you want in what's best for you to take it in. And you don't even know that it's doing that.
Yes, I think, and I agree there. I think it's society, behaviour is probably getting worse for students overall, but I think society changing so rapid has been the main driver for that. And I think it's, yes, I mean, let's go back to your previous talking about teachers. Are teachers misreading the signals?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you look at...
Because the training's not there or just because it's just the rapid change in society is too much?
Both.
Right.
So when you're in uni, there's a lot of focus on curriculum development and pedagogical approaches and all that, it's important. And there's very little, if any, units on understanding ADHD, understanding ASD.
And trauma-informed practices.
Understanding anxiety and wrapping that in a trauma-informed lens. It's very, very hard.
Yeah.
You need a lot of time and you need to be a person who actually wants to learn those things. And there's more and more teachers are doing that, but there's still a lot of teachers that don't do that and they focus on the curriculum.
Do you think because it's too scary for teachers at times? It's changing too much, it's too much to take on?
It's a lot, especially when they have kids of their own, and they might have some of those traits that those kids are showing themselves and they don't want that introspective look. So then they don't want to go on that.
And the flip side to that, they might have been around for 30 years and they know they can do that thing they do well. If they change that, what does that mean then?
Yeah, who are they as a teacher if they no longer are the person who does,
So what are you telling me, Matthew, that more PD at the start of school is a requirement? Is what teachers need?
I think that the way PL and PD is delivered definitely needs to be changed. We do a lot of PL and a lot of PD that literally, just like the joke, could be an email.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole bunch of PLs and PDs that schools will absolutely take on board and thrive, but they don't do it because it takes time. It might be a PL in term 1, and you have like a follow-up in term 2, but you've got homework in the middle. Who's going to do the homework? You've got OLNA, you've got NAP plan, you've got PAT testing, you've got
that's
whatever.
At a whole school level?
Yeah.
I think those whole school, they're important. They're a different beast. I know from my own personal PD, I try to minimise my time face-to-face these days. I try to do as much as I can online because I find you can work through your own pace, and then even if you can record and stuff and take your own notes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just think it's probably I've fallen victim to low attention span as well. But it's just if I can do it online and get through it when I need to. And then my time's so scarce, like yourself. When you've got kids, your time becomes so scarce. I always think if I'm sitting around next to if you're in a meeting or something or you're waiting around, I think what I could be doing with that time.
They're talking about whatever, and you're checking emails, writing plans, doing whatever. How often do people do that? So PLs do need to change, but the main thing is understanding the behaviour, understanding what could potentially cause that child's behaviour, that random explosion of, that came out of nowhere, what's going on there?
Well, let's expand on this now. So we've built up what it's looking like, what's going wrong, what actually works for these students, for the misbehaving students.
One, you got to yell at them. No, you don't have to yell at them.
You almost had me there for a second. Okay. Don't yell at them.
Don't yell at them because the majority of these kids will have a trauma background.
All they want to do is get you escalated to see.
That's all they want to do.
Well.
That's all they want to do is push your buttons because they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And you're making them do things that make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So they're going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
But if teachers can go in, start the day, and they're like, I'm going to really pay attention to these 5 behaviours I've noticed that people that keep coming up online, people mention about ADHD, and I'm going to see if any of these students actually show those behaviours, because that might then, next week, when you have the same kids, you might put a strategy in that will negate that and see if it makes a difference. Then the following week you go, I do some reading about anxiety. Oh, I've got these 5 behaviours. I'm going to see if any students in my class have anxiety.
I look at something like co-regulation. It's pretty important, yeah?
Yep.
Is that something that the student needs to learn for themselves by going through the situation, or they can be role modelled to them?
So when it comes to emotional regulation, there needs to be a base to build from. So
a base of trust or a base of?
A base of strategies, a base of understanding yourself, understanding others, understanding how you feel on the inside before it gets to the outside, all that stuff.
Yeah. So
if someone can understand those things, even in yourself, like if you, as a teenager, if you know that when you start to feel your chest tighten, you're becoming a bit anxious, you're becoming a bit whatever.
Become more self-aware over time. Yeah.
Then you'd be like, so can I just go outside for a quick break? And then you come in, and then that child who may in the past have escalated with behaviour now has an optional as a functional out. So
a bit of both. So put yourself in the situation for those students, but then you see as a teacher, role model that as well.
Yeah, because you can't have self-regulation without co-regulation.
Right.
So you need to understand the kids and offer them a functional out, or be the person that they see when they need help, so they can model their behaviour off you.
Right.
But you can only do that when they trust you, when they like you, when you have a rapport with them. So
the emotion's a big one. I think emotional regulation is harder these days.
You can't expect children or young people or even adults to self-regulate when they don't have the base and they still need co-regulation.
Sure.
So the first thing always is co-regulation.
Yep.
Some people, some adults are 40 years old and they still can't regulate their own
I think
emotions.
there's a lot of adults like that. I think it's just yeah. 'Cause
So you need to co-regulate with kids first. You need to show them, model, demonstrate, at appropriate behaviours, language, appropriate facial features,
Yeah.
all that jazz.
Yeah.
And then over time, with some kids, it might be a week. Good luck with that. Other kids, it might be 5-10 months.
right.
But over time, then they will self-regulate.
I think
co-regulation
No, I
comes
like
first.
it. Just moving away from emotions for a bit. I think at a teacher level and definitely in the classroom, your routines, any chance you get, and then even it has to be a micro routine. Sorry, just how you enter the classroom. This is how we just get ready for the class. Even if you just focus on the first 5 minutes of that classroom, it's going to set up an environment where you're going to get success out of the students.
Absolutely. And then that again is predictable, expected. It's a routine that they know. So then they feel like they belong. They have a sense of, achievement because they know what's going to happen. I've walked in kindly. I've sat at my table. I've said hello to my teacher. I've got my stuff ready. What a great start to the lesson. And then you get that moment.
Yeah, it takes away the uncertainty. All right, so let's wrap this up. So why is behaviour students getting worse? Is it? And what are teachers doing? How can we improve it? Give it to me all. How do we leave it in a couple of sentences?
Ooh, couple of sentences, Miles. Would have to be model co-regulation first. The teacher is the classroom's thermometer. Sorry. So if the teacher's up the front there all frazzled and run around and they're manic, class is going to be like, well, that's who's leading the ship.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same.
Yeah.
So if you can stay as hard as it is, that's why the teaching's acting half the time.
Fake it till you make it, Matthew.
That's the one. If you can fake being calm, fake being regulated, and show the kids that you are approachable, you are, listening to them and working and understanding their emotions and things like that.
Yeah.
Then they do the same because you're co-regulating them already. It's just done.
Yep, and I'll jump on the back of that as well, and I definitely agree. That's how I would close it up is, you, the teacher, are leading your class. But it's a big thing to do, and I think it's getting more
hard.
It's getting more difficult, so I don't think it's going to be something that works overnight as well. It's going to take some time. But it can be done, and the teachers still have influence.
They do. And it makes your job more fun. You got into teaching to teach and shape minds of tomorrow's innovators and leaders, Miles.
Future leaders, Matthew.
If you can find a way to have a very nice, calm, regulated classroom through doing a few little strategies here and there, you can actually do the job that you wanted to do, what you went to uni for, while you suck up and do all the unpaid hours of work and all that jazz. Miles?
That was a good episode, Matthew. I appreciate it. Like always, team, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.